So last week somebody asked me if I had any looping tips for Greenville Square, and I said I can make a looping guide on any tile in the whole game. I could even make a full map looping guide on the brand new map that came out this week, because I've done a looping guide on a map the week it came out, but then they changed some of the loops on that one. Here's looking at you, Forgotten Ruins. Now I'm holding off on that one. I'm going to do a few of these in the meantime, because this one's really easy. There's a huge map, and the biggest survivor advantage looping-wise really is just that it is huge, because there's nothing super overpowered or you're going to get guaranteed 3 vaults on a broken cookie cutter loop or anything like that. The big strengths are at the complete ends of the map. You got the main building over there, which is what we're going to go over, and then we got the statue area over there, which is what we're going to go over next week. Now there is one really important secret to this main building over here, and the secret is strengthened by the fact that it is all the way on the side of the map. There's only one generator that can spawn anywhere near this, and it's upstairs over there. And because there's not really anything for the killer to guard, if you get the killer to chase you all the way over here, they're already wasting tons of their own time just by having followed you to the corner of the map, kind of like the tank on Nostromo. But there's one really important thing to think about this pallet, not just the pallet itself, but these chairs are big enough where if you're on the opposite side of these chairs here, you can make it all the way upstairs. You leave the entrance, you turn left to come up these stairs, you hug the right, because we're going to turn right at the top of the stairs. So once again, you're coming from the theater seats when you're on the opposite side of that, and you're at the complete max distance no matter which way you're being pushed around. You could be getting pushed this way, and as long as they're at the complete opposite when you come around to about this chair, if they're right there at the opposite side of the chairs, you can then turn around and run up the stairs to the right at the top of the stairs and make it to this window. And the good thing about this window is in the 1v4, there's a guaranteed jungle gym to spawn, and you can always make it to that jungle gym no matter which jungle gym it is, so you at least have something to be able to make it to. In the 2v8, you always have at least a pallet to be able to make it to, so it's the exact same thing. As long as you make it to that window, you're going to be able to make it to that jungle gym. And that's important because you stagger so hard from that window that you're not, most of the time at least, going to be able to run all the way around and get back into that theater, or even make it back up the stairs and run to that same window, because that stagger is heavy. So even if you did just jump that, run right back around and try to make it right back up that, you're not going to be able to, because you stagger. The killer's walking and they're going to vault, or they're going to walk around. If they walk around, you can make it, but the killers almost never walk around. They almost always vault. And that stagger is so heavy, like I said, that you're not going to be able to make it back inside. But that's what the jungle gym or the filler tile that spawns on the 2v8 is right over there for. So the basic idea is, even if you were just getting pushed in this way, right, and we run around, say they just followed us, they didn't mind game, and we could just run right around this, right up the stairs, turn right, and at least make it to that window. And if we make it to that window, we definitely can at least make it to the jungle gym or the filler tile, just like that. Let me go this way, maybe. Go this way, actually. You just set traps here. Can we make this? I think we can. Oh God. And obviously there's some fun you can have for the pallet, like if you're running in this way and you try to greet it and the killer respects and you go back around this way, and say even if they didn't respect it enough this way and they were coming around, and say you greeted it again and they respected it enough that time, you might be able to make it up to that window just from resetting the pallet via greet and them respecting enough for you to make it up that way. But a much more consistent thing to think about, especially if it's not an M1 killer, or even if it is an M1 killer, say it's like a Bubba, I would consider that an M1 killer. If they do something like even rev their saw when they're far enough away and it slows them up just enough where you're on the other side of that chairs, you can make it all the way back up to that window. And that would work with a few different killers. I'd say Billy if he was revving up his chainsaw, or even something like Unknown. If they took out their projectile, didn't even shoot it yet, all they did was take it out, it would slow them enough for you to be able to make it all the way to that window, just as we were doing before. These are speed add-ons. You need speed and endurance, basically. Let's see a bamboozle. The bamboozle only lasts 15 seconds.
We're gonna stand up. We're gonna keep walking towards you. You can't take them from us.
Damn it. Same thing actually with projectile killers. If you're playing against a huntress or a slinger or something like that, all you gotta do is dodge one shot or one hatchet and they're 110, and these turn the corners. You will definitely be able to make it up that way, or at least if you're against a slinger or something, you'd be able to juke, because there's nothing that's a bottleneck forcing you where you can't juke side to side, and you could definitely get out of the way. But most of the time, if they even miss one projectile, they're 110, so you'd be able to make it all the way up to that window. I even had a cross shoe miss a spit once, and she was 115, but just because she threw one projectile, it slowed her up just enough for us to be able to make it all the way back to that window. If he doesn't have his power all the time. Yes. Alright, here we go. See if we can connect these two. This killer. No, I'd have to greed this. Hey, because she spit, we can. This is what I was talking about earlier. Remember he said you connect the big stairs to upstairs? That's what we're talking about. Oh, she didn't go for it. She didn't vault or nothing. She's not in the thing though. She got to spit on me. Now, the best part is, in the right scenario, if you're playing against the right type of killer, or just they respect enough, or they mind game themselves or anything like that, but in the right scenario, you actually can get 2 loops. Because let's say we were playing against something like a Chucky or something like that, right? And we get up here, we make it to this, we make it over here, and let's say he either went for the scamper, he's not going to be able to turn us around and go that way. So we can either run this way when he goes flying off in the distance, or if we were ahead and we try to go somewhere else, we could use something like a rock to have him juke around and have him miss, and then we can turn around, and then we can go right back to that theater, go around the theater seats again, and then make it back up to that window. And then you wasted not only enough time for 2 loops, but like I said, this is in the far corner of the map, so that's wasting way more of the killer's time, kind of like that tank on Nostromo. So if you could get in the perfect niche scenario that where you can get 2 loops out of this, there's bound to get some generators done, and more specifically, the important generators done. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but like I said, when you know loops like this, you're going to have those niche kind of dream world scenario where everything works out perfectly, just like this here. M1 is still bugged. We have enough distance. He's 110, and we know he doesn't have a dash. We might make it. Let's go. Yes! I don't know if we make it back to this pallet though. Yes! Yes! Now don't go around and go back up these stairs. Oh god, that's even worse. Was he leaving chase, you think? We got lucky again. Hey, let's try to go to the front desk. Can we make the front desk from here? Should have vaulted the second time.